Hi everyone, welcome to North Star Knife Reviews. Today we are going to be looking at the Rough Ryder Classic Carbon Whittler. This is RR1741. See, it comes in the nice magnetic box. This is a knife with carbon steel blades. Now, most of the Rough Ryders come in 440A, which is a stainless, but a lot of people like carbon steel blades, and so there was a bit of a clamor for Rough Ryder to make something with carbon steel. So they came out with this series. I believe there are 10 knives in total in the series, but this was a nod to the people who really wanted carbon steel blades. And we can take a little look at this knife. Pull out the main blade here for you. Now, the blades on this knife are in T10. If you are familiar with 1095 steel, this is going to be pretty similar, a lot of similar characteristics. The composition is just a little bit different. The T10 has some additional elements in the alloy, tungsten, a little bit of silicon, chromium, vanadium, things like that. And that does make it just slightly tougher than the 1095, so a little less brittle. And that's why T10 is very commonly used for swords. If you look at swords online, the T10 blades are fairly common, and they are sought after because of the characteristics of the steel. So we have the yellow composition handles. You can see the classic carbon shield that is on this series, the CC, and that stands for classic carbon. Bolsters are both pinched and threaded, and we do have the slant R on one of the front bolsters. You can see there are two springs on this, and they're separated by a brass liner that starts a little thicker, then tapers, and finally disappears down at the other end. This is called a split spring back Whittler. Now, the very first traditional split spring Whittlers used only one spring, and rather than having a divider, what you had was the spring taking up the full width, and then past the pin it would fork, and so you would have half the spring over here, half the spring over here, and a channel in the middle. I don't know of anybody who's making that type of split spring Whittler at this point. So this in modern traditionals is what you're going to see as a split spring. And this has three blades. The main blade operates on both of the back springs, whereas the secondary blades each operate on one of the back springs. And on this knife you have two pen blades for the secondaries and a Wharncliffe for the primary blade. Now, if you look at old traditional Whittlers, you do see a lot of them that have the two pen blades like this. You also see a lot that have one pen blade and one coping blade. That's actually my preferred setup, but this is not bad. And I do like the Wharncliffe for the main blade. Now, as I said, this is a carbon steel, the T10, and because of that, it will patina. This is what what it looks like when it's nice and fresh out of the box. And here I have another knife from this classic carbon collection. This is a medium toothpick that I've carried and used quite a bit. And you can see there is a fair amount, nice patina on this blade. Can compare the two, right? The new T10 versus the T10 that has been used quite a bit. If you don't like a patina, you're either going to have to clean the blade and polish it regularly, or skip this series and just get something with a stainless blade. Okay. I quite like this series. I think it's a good bargain. You know, the knives in it run, I want to say, about $11 to $14. I think a few of the models are sold out, but they do still have some of them. If you like carbon, give this a try. Hope you found this interesting. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you next time.